Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Alien RPG. This is AvPvE, Aliens versus Predator versus Engineers. Our PCs have a Newt problem that they are going to deal with. This is actually out, not in the PDF of this scenario. It is something that I have brought up because one of my PCs took over the character of Blake Jones, who, if you've read the PDF, you know who that is, but it'll all come out here shortly. And he receives a message, and they decide to go off and deal with that message. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn those notification bells on. I hope you guys enjoy the Alien RPG content. We love playing it, and here we go.
In person. See how that goes, and maybe we can try it here with this group if you're interested
Sure, I'm up for anything.
sometime in the future.
Yeah, 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 that'd be good. Um, and we still have Blade Runner out there too, which I've read through the book once, and I need to read through it again because I feel like I forgot everything I read. Um,
Well,
it's
it's not like you're doing anything else.
yeah, it's not like I'm working 55, 60 hours a week plus commuting and writing 4 novels in my off time.
What off time?
Yeah,
All right.
exactly. Not to mention trying to come up with content for you guys.
So
Um,
recap us where we were.
where you guys were, and we should be looking at the star map. You
Yep.
guys had you had a big meeting on Grendel after you guys did. You had a smaller meeting, found out that the ICSC had declared war on the UA over something that happened on a colony called Hasanova, and you came to find out that there was a USCMC 31st MAU uh, assault transport that was on its way to Grendel
Right.
from the Crestus sector, Arcturus area. So you guys spent a day doing as much research as you could on David's files and everything you got from the Wayu complex, came up with a whole bunch of information,
Yep.
and uh, in the end, you of course decided that you can't stay on Grendel because you guys were able to get the crew manifest of the ship that's coming, and you've determined that it is certainly an elite platoon that's coming, if not perhaps some sort of Black Ops or Special Forces, because there's a number of shoot, what were they called? I'm sorry, a number of genetically engineered soldiers. AWs is what they were called. Something. I'm sorry, my brain's completely failing me right now. But if you've read the Colonial Marine book, you are familiar with the project. You also determined through data that you had gathered, you guys had determined that the Juggernaut ships, the Juggernaut class ships, as they're called by Wayu and the android David, that seem to be bombing places with black goo, are you think they are using some sort of tachyon shunt drive, which is very energy costly, but also substantially faster than the FTL drives that you guys have, even more so than what a Conestoga class ship would have, for example. But you guys were able to determine that there was a star system that was in common in terms of the course. That's right there. So, having come to the conclusion that you guys really don't want to stay here,
Correct.
um,
We decided to go there.
yeah, you were deciding to head there. Rudy wants to work on learning the engineer language, as well as if she can learn how to pilot one of the Juggernaut ships, so we have to deal with that. And then beyond that, you guys were working on getting together, supplies and equipment and this, that, and the other thing. Uh, Vanderhoven has arranged for a number of um,
What? His name's Vanderhoven?
Verhoeven. I'm sorry.
Verhoeven,
Thank you.
not Vanderhoven.
That's right. Verhoeven has arranged for a number of shoot. Sorry, my I don't know why my brain's acting a little slow this morning. Bob, can you hear us all? You there?
Yep, yep.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
cool.
good.
Trying
Um,
to get started with.
uh, I'm sorry. Temporary or mobile cryopods. So that there's one for obviously because you guys have 8 on board ship and the crew is now effectively 5 with Dr. Roman and your NPC pilot. And
Pansy.
yeah, and then you've got Blake, which would make 6, and of course you've also got Rose, Khan, and Verhoeven himself, which would get you to 9. So you're already one short, and you guys were going to station a. You guys were going to station a. Yeah, there you go. You guys were going to get a squad of SSI security personnel on board as well. So
Wow.
uh, he's arranged for a group of those to be installed into your cargo bay.
All right,
Uh,
remind me why I wrote down this name in my notes. Alan Schaefer?
that is what Mr. Paul Verhoeven says his real name is,
Oh, it says his real name is.
and his
Okay.
friends call him Dutch.
Didn't he work for a while on the David Letterman show?
I think that's his brother Paul.
Okay. That's how you know you're old.
That's right.
Everything
Wow.
reminds you of something else.
That's right.
Hey, I watched Letterman when he had the daytime show when I was in
Daytime
college.
show. Wow, I don't even remember that.
He had a daytime show in 1982 when I was going to grad school.
No shit. Daytime David Letterman.
Yeah.
Well, I guess he came from somewhere. He didn't just materialize on the scene.
Well, it's funny because years and years ago, not years and years ago, but a few years ago, Slipknot fired Joey Jordison, their drummer, and they'd picked up Jay Weinberg, and I went, Jay Weinberg? Huh. It turns out it's Max Weinberg's son. Of course, my son has no idea who Max Weinberg is. So, anyway.
Okay.
Hey, I'm sorry. One more digression, if you will indulge me. How was Maiden?
Oh, Maiden was fantastic. It took us a while to get through the merchandise line, so Within Temptation had already started playing by the time we got to our seats. And they were pretty cool. They're a very different kind of metal. They're more, I don't know how to put it, more symphonic, maybe would be a better way to put it. But when Maiden came on, I mean they were just fantastic, and talk about guys that really have their whole show down to a science. When they changed out their stage and stuff like that. I mean the lights were down for you know not very long, a matter of minutes. But you know uh, Dickinson. I mean he's got, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be in his late 60s. He's got to be up there. The lead singer, and his energy level is just incredible. They sounded fantastic, absolutely fantastic. It was money and time well spent.
Awesome.
So I
All
highly
right.
recommend if you get the chance, because I don't know how much longer they're going to play. You kind of reach a point where they're thinking about retirement. You would think.
They got to be getting pretty old.
Of course, then again, Rob Halford, Judas Priest, he's 73, and they're about to release another album. So go figure. So anyway, all right, cool. Um, as you guys are getting preparations, your plan was to leave within 2 days. You figured you had, if I remember, you had 6 before the Bougainville ship would arrive. So the plan was to get out of Dodge, get as much information, get as much equipment and stuff as you could, and be the hell out within a couple days, because their ship is no faster than yours. So as long as you leave before they arrive, you've got a head start essentially. Um, as as all that is going on, Blake, you there, Blake?
I am here.
You are here. Um, Blake, you have an ARM computer that,
It seems that way.
yeah,
Hmm.
as long as you are somewhere with a network connection, you have a mobile connection.
Oh,
And as
sweet.
you're getting stuff together, I imagine figuring out which SSI personnel you're going to take with you and making sure you have proper equipment and that type of thing, you get a ding from your ARM computer indicating a network message. Do you see that?
I'm looking.
You should
Did you send something to me?
Yeah, it should be in your journal under strange message.
Oh, under journal. Okay,
Yep.
journal. There it is. Got it.
I'll give you a second to digest that. Right now, Jim is going, "What in the F?"
It sounds like I'm reading it right now during my walks, and it sounds like that little allegory, not allegory, little saying that Bill Denbrough used to say to himself to stop stuttering. He thrusts his fists against the post and still insists he sees the ghosts. Yeah,
Except this is
okay.
probably more attuned to the purple giraffe jumps over the moon while pooping in the trash can.
Which was my dream last night.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, interesting.
It is from an unknown or pirated network address. That's about all else you can tell about it right now.
Spaceman, excellent. Okay, all right. Well, I will keep that to myself for a second,
Okay.
for a while, and try to puzzle it out, I guess.
Well, I'll let you. Since you said I'll try to puzzle it out, I'll let you make a straight wits roll. Um, so what is Jake? What are you up to in these 2 days that you guys are getting everything ready?
Well, somewhere where we're not close to ISS staff, I would ask the ship crew. We're contractors, right? So how did we get to a point where Verhoeven just assumed that they're going to fly out with us? Doesn't sound right to me. Just putting it out there. I don't know how the rest of you feel about it.
That's a good point. I just assumed that we were still continued to be in their employ. We haven't rejected them.
Fair, but our employment was to search for alien life forms and investigate and note.
Yeah, but that
Be
was
the
that was
investigation
that
vessel.
was at the very beginning. It's been morphing ever since, right? We took on the job to go and try and get records from Wayland Utani, which we did. So we stepped over that line.
Well,
In
that
fact,
fell.
that line is so far away it's a dot, right? So
But that line was. I wouldn't say so. We were still investigating and acquiring information about alien species. I just feel that if they want to use us as a rescue vessel, they could at least ask, or they could pay maybe the rest of what we owe on the ship for us, and we will take them out of here. Just just options.
first of all, I didn't look at it as a rescue. Verhoeven has the resources to, um, he has the resources to hire any number of ships and get people wherever he wants to go. What I viewed it was our next mission was to our next mission. We kind of just accepted it without discussing it too much. Was to go to what we thought was the origin of these ships and try and get to the bottom of what was going on. But it seemed pretty dangerous to me. That's why we wanted some fire support. And Verhoeven said he was coming along, which if
I'm
he,
all for fire support, but Verhoeven, he's just an extra reason for them to attack us. I mean, the head of the ISS, and what's he bringing to the table?
well, if he's really Alan Schaefer Dutch, he's bringing a lot of battle acumen to the table. Plus, he's providing all the resources. I don't
Yeah.
know. I
Is someone speaking and I'm not hearing them?
Yeah, Bob and or Jake and Dwayne are having a conversation.
No, I hear them. I just there
Okay.
was a pause. I thought maybe somebody else
Oh,
was
no,
no.
speaking.
I'm
I
just
beg your
trying to
pardon.
think.
Well, may I say something about this subject just to get my take on it out there and see how you guys think about it? Because to me, it seems like, to quote a line from Dune, that we've entered a time when all will turn against us and seek our blood. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we started off as a exploration vessel, basically freelancing, and now we've uncovered the darkest secret in the galaxy. Like, we're squarely in the middle of, you know, think of it as like violations of a nuclear treaty between the biggest countries on earth right now. Like, we're in the middle of this. So I don't feel like there's any chance of us surviving this stuff on our own. They'll just eventually grind us down, find us, and send more of these like psycho marines after us and kill us. Like, Verhoeven and his organization are literally the only allies we have now. They're the only group with means and supplies and information that we can turn to because they're in this with us by default. Like, they're just as on the lam as we are when it
King is
comes to,
yeah.
from the perspective of the governments involved and corporations.
well, the big
They'll
corporation.
be labeled a terrorist organization, and will be labeled, you know, killers, psychos, or terrorists ourselves, or whatever they're going to paint us up to be in order to get us. So,
Although
what
clearly,
choice do we have,
the
really?
ultimate bad guy in this, though, is Wei Yu,
Well, it's
right?
not us, but they're the ones holding all the cards.
I know, but they're the ultimate bad guy in reality. If everyone knew what we knew, they'd know that Wei Yu has been keeping this threat a secret and been trying to weaponize it and
Yeah,
trying to make money out of it and not informing everybody of the threat. Clearly, um, it
and
goes beyond
everybody who's
unethical.
complicit in hiding
Yeah.
everything that's going on with the black goo bombings and all this other shit, and the origins of humanity, and like there's all this like heavy duty shit going on in the back uh, uh, background of the galaxy that people have been deliberately lied to about. So I don't see that there's any way that we come out of this like heroes. We're going to come out of this like
Well, yeah, the winners always paint the history, right?
right. We're not in charge, and we're rocking the boat harder than anybody's ever rocked a boat. So I think these guys at Verhoeven's outfit, they're like the only friends we have. We're both in deep shit. So I mean, we can ostracize them, but I don't think it's going to help us in the long run, or even the short run, because we'll run out of money like right away.
Sorry to derail the conversation real quickly, though, but I saw this the other day and I thought it was hilarious. I just had to share that. If I'm sure you guys remember the beginning of that movie.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
So anyway,
Did you
sorry.
post something?
Oh yeah, hold on. I'll pull it back up. You didn't see it?
No, I got my character sheet over the map. If you
Oh,
click,
there
oh,
you go.
okay, there we go.
What, what was his name in Ferris Bueller?
Cameron.
Yeah,
Cameron.
Yeah.
There's Cameron. Yes.
Let my Camerons go.
it's a minute. That guy was in a lot of stuff as a character actor, but you just don't see him. You haven't seen him for decades.
Yeah. He just keeps collecting his residual off of Ferris Bueller, I think. So anyway, all right. I'm sorry. Continue with your discussion.
Well,
Oh,
I just
I'm sorry. Real quick, let me say one thing before I forget. I have been extraordinarily lax in looking at your guys' agendas and awarding story points. So, as a result, just all of you add a story point to your character sheet. Um, since I have been lax on that, make sure you guys do that. So, and I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bob.
I just thought the option is there to ask them for a bit of a renegotiation of fee if their leaders want to use us as an escape vehicle and have more of the military focus on us. But
I
group
I do
decision.
agree with one thing. Um, he's got the financial wherewithal, and we are such an important cog in the machine now that if we live through whatever's going to happen next, he should pay off our ship.
Yeah, that's all that I'm basically saying.
No skin off his nose.
Well, right now we kind of, I got the impression that whatever we really need, they're going to supply us with. So it's
Yeah.
almost like, what do we really?
No, I agree. It's just that as we leave and we, prepare to jump to FTL and go into cryo, we should have a discussion with him about, uh, hey, we've been scrambling hand to mouth, trying to make contracts to pay off this ship, and frankly, uh, I think what we're going to do next may save the universe. That seems to, hey, Llama, how about a little something, for the effort?
Yeah, that's great.
To quote an ancient philosopher,
That's right.
Gunga Gunga Lunga. Okay. Anyway, so what do we think we need without getting into Alien the accounting or provisioning? What do we think we need for this soiree? Where can I click and find the ship stores? Magellan ship stores. There it is. Let's just make sure. Is there any gear or anything else we think we need besides the fact that we should make sure we have enough meals for this crowd?
Yeah, Blake had added a bunch of weaponry. I think
Okay.
that's all still here. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, I
Okay,
see
yeah.
that. Wow,
Mhm.
And
that's a lot of stuff.
And don't forget the crate of apples.
And the crate of apples that we can
Aren't they
throw
bad
at
by now?
their enemies.
No, they've been in cryo storage.
Oh, okay.
They might be a little dehydrated, but they'll be all right.
A little mushy. I like a crisp apple. I don't like a mushy apple. All right. Well,
So I'm gonna.
how much room do all these cryo chambers take up?
Oh, not. I mean, all things considered, not that much. Because you guys have a Class 4 cargo bay, which is where they'll be installed and secured. Which a Class 4 cargo bay is pretty big. It can carry. Is it class 4 or class 5? What size is your cargo bay? Do you recall?
I don't.
Let's see, it
I,
was on. What was it? It was on Max Decker's character sheet, right?
oh yeah, let me look at
I think it's a class 4, which a class 4 can carry 5,000 tons worth of cargo. So it's pretty
that.
big.
Class 4.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's not big enough for you guys to make a living hauling freight by any means, but it's certainly big enough for a couple of mobile cryotubes.
So I can get those guys to give me a new power loader.
I think you guys have one.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
Crap.
Yeah, there's one in the
Yeah, we
stores.
do have one. Hmm.
I'm looking. Weapons, vehicles. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think you guys picked one up last time.
Yeah, we did that last time because I was complaining like a little kid. All right.
Yeah, well,
Well, how many power loaders have I lost?
just one.
Oh, just one. It seems like more.
That didn't belong to you to begin with.
Yeah, and a tractor that did belong to us.
It did belong
Yes.
to you. Tractor went kablooey.
All right.
What are you up to, Blake?
I wanted to get with Rudy, and I was going to show her the message
All right, I can do that.
and see if her big brain can figure it out.
Sure. Rudy, you should have a handout that
this
says
one.
strange message.
Okay, let's see. Okay, interesting. A puzzle. Perhaps we should get the whole crew working on this.
I can show it to everybody if you guys like.
Well, more brains. It'll go by faster.
Everyone should see it.
Oh, okay. Uh, where am I looking? I can't see it.
It should be under your journal. It's just called strange message. Do you see it, Bob? I clicked show all players, but it may not have done it. Let me try it again.
There it is. Okay.
All right.
Holy mackerel.
Actually, my statement of the purple giraffe jumped over the moon while pooping in the trash can might make more sense than this.
Yep.
No problem.
Uh,
Let's see here.
man. That's man.
I don't see the problem.
Um
I don't see a problem or a solution, but I'm in the mood for pudding.
All right. So with the players stumped, which is fair because it's completely nonsensical as it was planned to be. Um, how would you guys like to proceed?
Well,
I
this
guess
message was obtained completely anonymously. There's no. What's the provenance?
Um, Hold on 1 second. Sorry,
There's
I'm
no
multitasking
breadcrumbs or
real quick.
anything, right?
No. Well, I guess it's up to Blake if he wants to give that information out. I hate to make that decision for him.
Wait, say again?
Uh, Sharif asked where the message came from. You know what the
Oh yeah, I share all that. It's just they don't know about my thing, huh?
no, they know you've got some sort of device, but that's about the limit of it.
Okay. Um, well, I think I would share that at least with Rudy.
Okay. So we'll just put it out in the open, and
Sure.
yeah.
So I can
So
start calling Blake a cyborg then?
no, it
Ah.
he carries a yeah, nice try. He carries a computer on his arm, and it was a network message that came to his arm computer from an unknown network address. So he has no idea who it came from.
It's just spam. They're trying to sell you a timeshare. Don't worry about it. We're good.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
We
you're
want to talk to you about your car's warranty.
yeah, yeah. That's probably it, honestly. You know,
extended warranty on your spaceship is about to expire.
yeah. Do you guys get those calls down in New Zealand?
I haven't, so
Okay,
Do you ever
and I
get
haven't
the
really heard anybody complain about it, so I'm guessing not.
Do you
okay.
get the Nigerian prince email scams and stuff like that too? I
Yep.
imagine you do. Yeah. I imagine everybody gets that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
I
think that's just
I actually got a real world letter from the Nigerian prince back in 1995. I wish I would have saved it.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
old school.
I wish I would have saved it. It came to my parents' business, and it was the funniest thing. And they're like, "What? What is this?" They're all concerned. Like, you just ignore it. I think. But yeah,
I got
that's
I got in a
it's an
funny
artifact.
back and forth with a Nigerian prince email thing once where they asked me for my financial information and I asked them for seed money, like earnest money. And we just kept going back and forth. I kept saying how much I'd love to help them if they would send me a check, of earnest money to prove
Yeah,
they're
right.
real. And then they're like, "Well, we'll send it to you, but you send us your bank information first." We just
Yeah,
kept going around it.
that's pretty funny. That's pretty good. So yeah, I mean, can I nudge Rudy to try her? You have great wits, don't you, Rudy?
No, it's not my wits.
Oh,
Honestly, Bob's character is probably much wittier. Empathy is
yeah. I don't know if we can put our heads together to try to figure this thing out. If we have any clues, or
as a person, I'm not very good with these kinds of cryptogram type puzzles, but I don't know. Looking for a pattern that repeats. I'm not really picking up on anything. It's
or
not
an
really
anagram.
it's not really a cryptogram because like the words, I don't think the letters themselves are substitutes for something.
No.
I'm looking for a pattern, like if you take the first two letters of every word or something like that, but I don't think I'm smart enough to figure it out that way.
Well, the other thing I was wondering was, um, what if what if some of these words substituted synonyms? It's just that Not sure that comes to anything either.
I mean, these are all good. It's a good idea to try. Yeah, I don't know. I can't seem to make sense of it that way either.
Oh, don't worry. I'm gonna let you guys suffer a little longer. I honestly, I'm covering for a moment of GM lack of preparedness. So
You're okay.
It's okay. I don't mind having a couple minutes to look at this thing.
Yeah, for a guy like me, it's going to take a while.
Yeah, I can't even think of reordering the words to make.
I've even tried reading it
sense at all.
backwards, but that doesn't do anything either.
eat now a clay. Oh,
Right?
not,
I'm like,
not
this would be
literally
way
backwards.
too sophisticated if it worked backwards. Like, holy shit. Be like, Marty, you should work for the government.
Circus elephant has lost its way.
Hmm.
I don't know. Doc, make your wits roll. Maybe we get a clue or something.
Oh, yeah. The success and stress, unfortunately, doesn't count because you shouldn't have any stress.
That's right.
Um, but I
Can you,
guess
can you get a reroll without the stress die?
I guess you could strain really hard and push it, perhaps.
Maybe we could help him and give him an extra die.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. That's fine. Yeah, it works. All right. Very good. Very good. Very good. Give me 1 second to finish typing this up, huh? Because I should have had this
The
done.
big brain on Jake Sinclair.
That's right.
I do want to try foaming elk pudding, though. Piqued my interest.
I don't know. Sounds pretty awful.
It sounds like something some hillbilly up in the Canadian wilderness came up with. It's elk pudding. It's delicious. Try it.
Jake, as you begin to stare at this in earnest, and you probably have like a hold on 1 second. Yeah, there we go. You probably have a pen and a steno pad in front of you as you're trying different things, and you start to realize that if you take letters from different words in order, they kind of create a message, and I'm getting that message typed out for you right now. Because, like I said, I should have had it done ahead of time, but I can't go a single session without not having something ready. That's just the way I roll. Okay. All right, perfect. Now, let me export that as a PNG. I want it. Let me export it. Come on. Don't mess with me. I apologize, guys. All right. Shall I just drop it in for all to see? Just make life easy?
Yeah.
Please.
on the wrong? No, I'm on the right. I'm trying to just expand that. Can you guys read that okay? Is it big enough?
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here.
I was trying to click and drag it to make it. Ah, there it goes.
Oh,
There we go.
you're making me dizzy.
Sorry.
So Hicks.
Now, there's certainly other words you could put
Oh.
together from this, but this is the only thing that seems to make any more sense than the original message. Of course, Bob, you have no idea who Hicks, or Jake, you have no idea who Hicks is.
Oh, okay. So it's Hicks. Help.
They found me, Newt.
Oh, Hicks, help me. They found me, Newt.
Somebody named Newt is asking somebody named Hicks for help. It appears.
So Blake gets very quiet at this point.
Metagaming.
Steely-eyed gaze to the floor, trying to control his breathing.
Yeah.
Does this mean anything to you, Blake?
Do me a favor, guys. Give me 1 second. I'm going to have a private conversation with Blake.
I will take care of something here. I'll be back probably 3 minutes
Okay, no problem.
while you guys do that.
Yep. You hear me, Jim?
Oh, yeah.
Anybody else hear me? Anybody? Anybody else hear Jim? Okay, I think we're good. Unless they can hear us and we can't hear them, in which case we're not.
Yeah.
So in the aftermath of what should have been Alien 3 and Anchor Point Station being lost, prior to Anchor Point actually being lost, you had sent Newt home to live with her grandparents. Okay, with everything that happened on Anchor Point and your realization that while you were rescued by the USCMC, you're never going to be free of them, or it should not necessarily the core itself, but certain people within it, as well as Weyland-Yutani, and you went AWOL and disappeared. You journeyed back to Earth, and you helped reunite Newt with her grandparents, and they went off to live off the grid in Oregon.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
you know, you have the coordinates of where they went. It's a couple hours outside of Portland, just out in kind of the Oregon woods, essentially.
Yeah.
You know they're living off the grid there, so that's where all that left off.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I actually have the graphic novel for Alien 3. I was going to read it, and then I got busy doing other shit. I read it before, though, so I have an
I didn't
idea.
know there was a graphic novel. I have the actual
Yeah.
novel.
Yeah, it's William Gibson, Johnny Christmas,
Yep.
Tamra Bonvillain, Alien 3. It's by Dark Horse.
Yeah, I got you. I didn't know there was one. I've got the actual William Gibson, novelization of the script. I didn't know there was a graphic novel.
Mhm.
That's kind of cool.
I didn't know there was a novelization. So, yeah, no. So, and how long ago was that? How long ago was Anchor Point?
That was right after. That was just a few months after LV 426. So that was about 5 years ago.
Okay, so it's been about 5 years.
Yeah.
Right. And okay, all right, and remind me what we're supposed to go where this intersection of the two paths on the map are showing us, right?
Yeah, that's where you guys
system.
had planned to go.
That's where we're headed. Okay, but now I know that Newt is in trouble. So.
Right. And
all right, that
of
provides
course
a wrinkle.
you see Sol close to the center of the map, I assume.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I know. We're going away from it.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, I'll see what I can do with that. Cool.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Now I got to figure out how I can make it that everyone else can hear and see us again. You guys there?
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh. Do we need a restart?
No?
I've lost all your avatars and stuff.
Can you hear us?
Yep.
I hear you. Oh, maybe because you guys are having a private conversation. Is that what the white avatars mean?
Yeah.
That's what happens, yeah. But now
Okay.
we're out of it. Well, you don't really need the avatars, but yeah.
Still, it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah, I see. Whoops, sorry,
Well,
dog's
maybe
going
if they
back.
reconnect, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I just reloaded the page and everything came back to normal.
Blake's back.
Dwayne, Rudy? Hello? Anybody? Am I there? Am I here? Oh, for God's sakes. Hello?
I hear you.
Okay.
I read you.
All right, good. Jim?
I
Jim?
should reload the whole
I'm
web
here.
page
Can you hear me?
Okay, I got you.
to get icons back.
I don't have anybody else.
Rudy, Dwayne, if you guys don't hear Jim, just hit reconnect. It should work.
Testing, testing.
I
Well,
got
Jim, say something.
I don't think Jim and Dwayne hear each other.
Hello, hello. Hi, Dwayne.
I hear you, Jim. Could you hear?
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I got it. I got
Marty,
everybody. I
could you
think.
heard him?
All right.
All right, hot dog.
Sorry about that, guys. I should know better than to risk the Roll20 gods' anger. I really should know better. But anyway. All right. I'm going to take that off the screen, and I'm just going to add that as a handout if anyone wants to reference it at any point. If I can figure out where I did with it. There it is. We'll call it decoded, we think. Strange message.
Yeah, as I look at it, I don't know how he managed to decode that thing.
He obviously missed his
really
calling.
A little bit of cocaine and everything comes together.
It's the
Is that what that
80s.
white powder is all over your locker
That's right.
in the crew chamber there?
Sure,
I'm
yeah.
wondering.
Yeah.
I thought you just had real bad dandruff, but no.
By the way, and I'm sorry, this is another stupid aside, but I got to bring this up. If you guys remember our good friend Private Hudson, played by Bill Paxton, you know, his character has probably the most realistic emotional responses to everything they're going through. But at the same time, he's very unhinged. You know, well, if you remember, right before they load up into the APC, when they're still up on the Sulaco before they drop, Apone shouts, you know, "Come on, Hudson, get in gear" or something. Hudson is still in his locker. He's still doing something in his locker. He's the last person to get on the ready line. In the novelization, it actually is briefly mentioned that Hudson apparently has an X-Stims addiction. So, which is in the game. X-Stims are in the game. They can give a boost to agility or strength for a short amount of time, but they're basically hardcore injectable drugs. But when you put that in the context of his reactions in the movie, it kind of adds that much more realism to, you know, how unhinged he becomes throughout the whole thing.
Is it? Do you think it's possible that that information got left on the cutting room floor?
I am sure it did. Yeah, I'm sure it did, because they probably didn't. If you just look at the way that movie flows, and even the director's cut, which I have, doesn't have that information in it, so it may not even made it that far. It probably got cut from the final script.
But unhinged is a really good way to say it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it would make sense for the period since cocaine was the biggest thing in the 80s.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, just having that tweaker kind of, you know, personality when you're when you're on coke all the time.
Well, and
That
look
was
at
in a lot of
him.
movies.
Yeah,
Mhm.
when he's on one of his emotional highs, he's high as a kite. He's just absolutely obnoxious. And then when things start going bad, everything down to like when the dropship explodes and he's laying there on the ground and his eyes are bouncing around, twitching. And the
Mhm.
fact that later on, he's sweating like all the time. It really, which, we know that it's probably a high stress situation, but it just adds a lot of weight to what's going on. It makes a lot of sense. So, anyway, all right,
All right. So, what do we do next? Is there anything else to do except get out of here?
I think that's it.
I'm still trying to learn how to fly their juggernauts and speak their language.
yeah,
Well, you're doing that by reviewing the stuff from the David, right?
Right.
So you could do that while we're in FTL because you don't need to go into cryo.
That's true.
yeah. So a few, yeah, we'll talk about that as we move forward. All right. So unless you guys have anything else to add after a couple days, you guys are as put together as you can be. The SSI headquarters building is basically cleaned out. Anything of value or of interest is either somewhere else or even stored on your ship. Um, I think Verhoeven and Rose and Verhoeven's certainly ready to launch. If you guys have nothing else to add, we'll launch you into space.
Well, he didn't. He didn't. He didn't take over our crew quarters or anything, did he?
No, no.
All right, just something I would have expected from a rich guy.
I'm
How is that?
Kick
How
us
is
out
the
of our own
logistics of this
cabins.
working? Are we like renovating the hold, or how
I,
are
I
we
would
doing it?
imagine the cargo bay
Yeah,
has been somewhat temporarily, shall we say, renovated with partitions and stuff put up to give them some semblance of living space.
that's what I would think too. There's cryo chambers there, and also they make like a little, almost like a little, I don't know, encampment for the
Yeah,
lack of a better term.
yeah,
And I believe we said last time that they were bringing in temporary cryopods, like portable
correct.
Yeah,
cryopods, right? Okay.
Yep, enough so that there's room for them, and you guys have 4 SSI security personnel on board.
So it's Verhoeven and what's her face?
Rose Whitehill.
Rose Whitehill, also known as it
You
doesn't
guys
matter.
originally knew her as Mamie Knight.
Mamie. There you
Yeah,
go.
and Dr. Katori Khan, who is
Dr.
there.
Katori Khan,
Yeah.
Oh,
um, Alan Schaefer,
Yep.
and 4 mooks.
You got it.
Okay.
Katori Khan. That's an interesting. Katori. Hmm.
Yep.
Remind me if Khan was a male or a female.
Female.
That's what I thought. Because I
I should have a
I
picture.
I jokingly wrote down Shaka Khan
Oh,
on my notes. Okay. Uh,
I know I gave you guys a picture of her at some point, but it might have just been a drag and drop. It may not have been a handout.
I don't remember. Anyway, all right.
So, you guys want to have Tansy set course for your mystery star system? Is that the plan?
I think we should. Have we done everything we can do?
I would say so, unless there's something you guys want to talk about.
There's no extra paperwork to be done by anyone.
It's good.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right. So You guys lift off, and you guys returned your ship back to being Magellan again, didn't you? Didn't you put your
Yes,
original?
we did.
That is correct.
Yeah, yeah. There she is. I knew she was around here somewhere.
Oh, but I don't remember if we had those goofy PDAT chips reprogrammed. I was walking around with an alias while we were on that.
That's true. That's something to discuss if you guys
Before I
want
go
to,
into cryo, yeah.
yeah, ditch those and completely, or if you want to reprogram them, or what do you guys want to do?
Just put them in ship storage for maybe later use.
I got you. So just take them out and hold on to them in case you need them again.
Yep.
Can do that. That absolutely works. All right. So from Grendel to where you are headed is, it's a good distance away. It's about 6 parsecs, give or take, which will
1,
take
2,
your ship.
3, 4. Well, it's 5 in a straight line, but we got to multiply times the square root of 2.
Right. So.
Oh, and that's in 2 dimensions. I don't know if it's 3 dimensions, but
it's funny you mentioned that. This star map is, according to Free League, by the way, is an actual star map, and they spent the time and large amounts of computing hours to compress it from 3 dimensions into 2, and then adapting the parsecs based on how far away it actually is in 3-dimensional space. So the distances are accurate, even though it's 2-dimensional, not 3-dimensional. You're just not on a 2-dimensional plane. I found that interesting.
but then again, we have various star systems, but we're in a single galaxy. Is that correct?
Oh yeah,
And almost every galaxy we've found exists predominantly on a plane.
that's true.
So it's not, although it's 3 dimensions, it shouldn't be that far removed from a two-dimensional map being able to.
No, especially because the Sol system, if you look at the Milky Way, is really, is really quite a distance from the center of it. So
You guys totally
Yes,
lost
but
me on this.
Milky Way is predominantly a spiral
correct.
spiral disk. All right. Anyway, let's get on with it. Sorry.
That's okay. All right. Anybody have anything they want to do or discuss before you guys jump into cryo?
Well, I think we should. I think we as a group should discuss what do we think we're going to find? What do we think we're going to do when we get there? I mean, right now, the point is we don't know anything other than they came from there, and we want to get some information. That doesn't mean we want to jump right, super close to the star or anything, right? Guys?
Well, I think we should just run this as a normal scouting mission.
So we jump in a little bit away from the star. We come in and we turn on our sensor array and see what we can learn before we just dive in, right?
Yes, that sounds
All right.
about right. I mean,
All right, well, as long as we have a detailed plan, then I'm let's go into cryo then.
Before that happens, Verhoeven. You guys are probably all having this discussion on the bridge or in the galley or what have you.
Yeah.
Verhoeven reaches out to Rudy via the intercom and says that he'd like to meet with the crew before we go into cryo. There might be a change of plan.
Sure, why not?
Okay then.
This
Shall we?
could be fun.
Um, so wherever you guys meet, Verhoeven arrives. He has Rose with him. There, you've got the whole crew. Is your pilot there or not? Doesn't really matter. I'm just curious.
Well, I don't think the pilot should be kept in the dark for many of these discussions. It affects her too.
That's a fair statement, I think. Um, Verhoeven, he says that while I do not want to, well, I don't want to put off our mission to this star system any longer than necessary. Blake informed me of the message he received. The that individual is well, not to put, just to put it out there, that individual is someone that Blake knows and saved. And if she's in trouble, Blake has a responsibility to her.
Which individual he's talking about?
Newt.
Newt.
Just want to clarify.
Yeah, so if I'm in the room,
You
And
are.
who saved her? Blake. Blake.
Yeah,
saved her?
so I, because of this new information, I go ahead and do full disclosure to the crew, and inform them about the Anchor Point Station event and everything that happened on LV426. I don't know if you want me to narrate that. I don't know if you guys need more information about what happened on Farpoint Station. Is it Farpoint or Anchor Point?
Anchor
Farpoint
Point.
is Star Trek.
Farpoint Star
Farpoint.
Trek.
Yeah, Anchor Point Station.
So you all would know that Anchor Point Station, as it exists currently, is a new station that's been built in the last couple years. The original Anchor Point Station, which I don't think is actually on this map, is not on this map. But to my knowledge, it was right over here, if I remember
Holy
correctly.
mackerel.
No. I am wrong. I'm completely wrong. I'm sorry. The original Anchor Point Station was over in this neighborhood right here.
Well, that's not completely wrong. That's only
Yeah, it's only a couple
One
parsecs off.
got 1 or 2 parsecs wrong.
But it was simply lost. It was and there was no explanation given. It was a joint United Americas Wayland Yutani station, and it was lost. No explanation given. Completely destroyed. So a new one has been built in the last few years, or is undergoing construction. And as far as LV426, prior to all this, all you guys probably knew was that there was a colony there that was also lost, and the UA claimed the UPP nuked it. UPP said we had nothing to do with it. Of course, you all have seen Aliens, so you all know what happened on LV426. So just the in-game, shall we say, in-universe background of Anchor Point. So Blake, I guess you unveil who you really are. Then is what you're getting at.
Yeah, Dwayne Hicks, and I let him know about so the out of game. This timeline has Alien 3 being the Gibson book rather than the movie that was done by Fincher.
So the official canon, as far as the game is concerned, is that, and this is just something that obviously your characters don't know, but you guys as players should know, that Alien 3, as we saw it on film, did occur, but what we saw on film is, shall we might say, maybe the official Wayland Yutani story. It's not exactly what happened. Dwayne Hicks and Newt did not die in a crash on Fury 161. Dwayne Hicks and Newt and Ripley were all picked up by Anchor Point Station. Newt was sent away to head back to Earth to live with her grandparents, and in the midst of an alien infestation on Anchor Point, Hicks shot Ripley out in a pod. So she was on Fury 161, but we don't really know what happened as far as that is concerned. So does that all make sense?
Yep.
So Verhoeven says again, I don't want to delay our mission, but Newt is a young lady by the name of Rebecca Jordan, and if she's in trouble, I'd like to divert the ship to help her.
And she's with her grandparents?
Verhoeven looks at you, Dwayne.
Yep. She's with her grandparents. She's in Oregon, living off the grid. I know her last location, but she's probably not there
So
because she's been abducted.
so the message says they found me. Who's they?
I don't know that we know exactly who they is. It's probably Wei Yu, attempting to do something further with the I don't know how to put it, the alien biologics.
So to help her, we'd have to detour to Earth? Theoretically?
That's the last known location and where
Their
the trail
soul.
starts. Yes, unless we can pick up some information along the way about where she may have gone.
Well, actually, according to the map, it looks like from Grendel to Seoul isn't much different from Grendel to this other way we were going to go. Right?
It's
Maybe
about
this-
the same distance. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm just thinking maybe this isn't such a bad idea because the Space Marines attacking us, for lack of a better term, they would expect us to go to certain places. Just slingshot into Earth would confuse the heck out of them. It might be a good tactic.
On the other hand, Oregon's part of UA, right?
It is.
So, do we want to alter the ship's transponder again so that we don't raise attention if we're going to go there? We don't want to pop into the system and suddenly have everybody pinging us and ships intercepting us and blah blah blah.
Honestly, we should probably be doing that regardless of what we decide to do. Because, yeah, Magellan. Everybody's probably
I think
looking for Magellan.
I think with me being on board and our new, I guess, destination, we should hide who we are. We can't let anybody know who we are. We'll just become a target.
All right, so we're heading to Sol System, and we're changing our IFF signature, correct?
Seems like the right thing to do. We want to look like
We're going to assume our other IDs that we had before. I remember I wrote down I'm Indra Viscontis, a neuroscientist. We're going back to that.
Man, we could, if we think the ID part is necessary. I hadn't thought past the ship entering the system and being picked out, but you're right. If we go down onto the surface,
Well, if we're in for a penny with this, we're in for a pound, right? Like,
yeah,
it wouldn't do to change the ship registry and then walk around as ourselves.
so you're saying we should have just kept those chips under our skin instead of extracting it, putting it away. Now we're going to put it back. I'm going to have
Not too
a
late.
permanent. I'm going to have a
We have-
permanent scar. You know.
We have Qatari Khan on board. I think she's the one who put him in us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way,
It's going to leave a mark.
when am I going to get my replacement arm? I just realized.
Yeah.
Just
You're
going to
you're
throw
gonna
a
be
wrench into that. Come
you're
on,
gonna be
man.
operating with a
I got this Johnny
off match for a
Silverhand.
while.
Johnny Silver.
Got this Johnny Silverhand chrome thing going on.
Now, wear long sleeves and a glove.
Rose does point out we STSV Meredith was the transponder you used on GBH 45. I don't think we could use that same signal. We're going to have to come up with something else.
I agree. We need to root through known registries and see if we can mimic a ship that's sort of like ours that has the right registry, right?
That's a
Well,
good
that's
idea.
that's Verhoeven's gig, right? Don't they? They broker this shit, don't they? Like they have a network for doing this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I
Rose
mean, we're not
says
smugglers. We don't know what the hell to do.
no.
Hook us
Rose
up.
says I can figure that out.
Look us up.
We'll have Rose do a Comtech roll to see what she can figure out where that's concerned.
Give us a innocuous name that nobody will notice, like Enterprise or Galactica or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's right.
Should be fine.
That's right. Perfect. All right.
Wow.
Yep, there is a UA Explorer class vessel. There's quite a few of them that are on the books, but one that probably wouldn't raise any eyebrows whatsoever would be the SS Lollipop.
The good ship
The
lollipop.
good ship Lollipop, absolutely.
That's funny.
And um, it's interesting that that's an enduring reference here in 2022. If you think about it, it's almost 100 years old.
It is almost 100 years.
Now, back to the game. This is since it's SS, then it's a private craft, right?
Private UA registry. Yep.
Right. Okay. I think that's key. We don't want to appear to be affiliated with the government. All right. Well, I'll leave it to you guys. I'm going back to engineering. Tell me when it's time to go into cryo. I just want a good gun.
Is that a plan?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, it's a plan now that the cat's out of the bag.
All right. I got to step away for 3 or 4 minutes. I'll be right back.
No problem. In fact, tell you what, guys, I've had multiple cups of coffee this morning, so
Sounds good.
go to the head real
Back
quick.
shortly.
Yay, pee break.
Yeah. All right. I'm back. Bob, you there?
Yep.
So, I know it's a little bit of a drive for you, but are you going to make it to my book signing here in Virginia on Saturday?
Um, I'm just trying to get the route mapped out and we'll put it in there.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know if you'd seen any of that. I was posting. I've been posting on social media.
Yeah, some of it depends on how well Facebook, pushes stuff out. But I've seen some of your so many words postings and stuff.
Yeah, I cannot figure out the algorithms, man. It drives me nuts.
And I think that's half of the way they want it because if people can figure it out, people can play it. So
Exactly. Exactly. What they really want is they want you to have to pay for it.
yep.
The only way to guarantee it gets out to everybody is to pay to boost the posts. So, pain in the ass. But
I'm back.
all right.
I'm back as well.
Hey, Marty, you'll appreciate this from because it's a reference to a movie that you like.
Okay.
I contracted with a guy a couple weeks ago to do some work on my house, and he was supposed to start this week, and he wasn't here. And I just talked to him on the phone, and he said he got hung up at another job. So I asked him when he was going to start. You know what he said?
Huh.
2 weeks.
And how long are you going to be here? 2 weeks. And did you bring any fruits and vegetables? 2 weeks. What?
But I was also thinking about the money pit because
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The money pit.
it was
That's
always
right.
2 weeks
It
away
was
from
always
starting.
2 weeks away. That's right. Sorry, I went to Total Recall right away.
Yep,
But yeah, money
two
pit.
weeks.
That and that and don't forget Mr. Destiny. 1,000.
Oh yeah.
Don't you guys know any other number? 2,000. I just love hijacking my PCs. Right as soon as you guys came up with a plan, it's time to change plans.
We go where the adventure goes.
Hmm.
I guess,
Yeah,
I guess we could have said no,
you could have. Certainly.
except that our cargo hold is full of a bunch of armed guys that report to him.
Good point. This is Verhoeven's ship now.
Always was.
Jim, you there? Nope.
I wasn't paying attention. When did Rose Whitehill make that outrageous Comtech roll?
When she decided to go looking to see who you guys could change your ship to.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, look at that.
Yeah, she's got some dice. She's got some dice. So for a quick alien the accounting thing, um, let's do this. Let's run through some character sheets real quick because I don't know when the last time we checked. I don't know when the last time we checked encumbrance was. So I'm just gonna start from the left and make my way down.
Well,
Bob.
quick note
Yeah.
when it comes to my sheet, I put just the stuff that she owns on here, not necessarily the stuff that she's.
Carrying.
Yeah, like I put the Mark 35 pressure suit on here, so I know that it's. You know what I mean? Like she's not necessarily wearing that. She has
Although
like a.
it's in ship stores, or where is that? Because I've got one, but I don't have it on my person. Right?
It's in ship stores, I'm sure, but I put it there so I remember.
Wouldn't forget. Gotcha.
Right, just like I put the Stratsol AR-40 on here, but that's not really her thing. She carries a 357, but I put it on my character sheet because it's something that she has access to that I might want to use. So I feel like my sheet might be a little bit misleading to you. Like you think, oh, she's got all this shit on all the time. No, it's just,
I gotcha.
you know.
I gotcha. So what we'll just need to whenever you guys are in a situation where you don't have immediate access to all your gear, basically like if you leave the ship, essentially, we just have to make some decisions as to what you're actually carrying and what you're not, and then double check our encumbrance and make sure we're okay. Of course, Rudy's got the pack mule talent, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. She's not extremely strong though, so the pack mule is just there to give her like a normal.
I gotcha.
You know what I mean? It's not like she can't carry like a monster amount even with pack mule.
Oh yeah,
Your encumbrance limit is double your strength, right?
correct.
Yeah.
Which means even without pack mule, Dwayne can carry more than Rudy can.
Yeah, I can carry 10 slots.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff.
And right now, if I look, maintenance jack is a slot. Bolt gun, is that a slot?
Yes,
That's 2. I have 4 extra bolts.
that's 3.
That's 3. I have a cutting torch. That's 4. Flashlight,
Half.
4.5. And then I would take my AR-40, Stratsol AR-40 if we had to go somewhere.
Yeah, so you're 5.5.
And then and reloads for that thing would put me probably at what, 6?
Depending on how many reloads are quarter slots.
Yeah, so and then if I took a suit, that's 7. I still have 3 slots for stuff.
Jim,
That's
you there?
why I don't pay close attention to the encumbrance.
Yeah, you probably don't have to. All right, well, I guess with decisions made, I suppose to reprogram the transponder, I suppose I need a Comtech roll from somebody and then a heavy machinery roll from somebody. Okay. Dwayne, no problem. You have a stunt. What would you like to do? Because I think your role, technically, Dwayne, is for actually installing the reprogrammed transponder.
Bob, if you're there, we need a Comtech roll.
Yep. Alright, so Comtech, somebody assisting, and SSSD, so that's +2.
Bob rolls 32 dice. 2 successes. All right, so you each have a stun on those rolls. Bob, what do you want to do with your Comtech stunt? And I don't think new and unexpected information would really apply, so.
Alright.
Nice try. I was way ahead of you.
Don't need to overcome this again, so we know now how to do it.
Yep, I'm in. That works.
Write a little program that just flips it on, flips it off.
Sounds good. I like it. Dwayne, what do you want to do with your stunt? lost Dwayne. All right. Well, I'll
Wait,
move it.
are we talking?
Sorry, I was talking on mute.
Oh,
Oh,
You said it was specific to installing this thing, so
correct.
um,
Uninstalling the old one, installing the new one.
yeah. So can I just can I um can I bank the success for
A freebie on
if
the next time you do this.
if we have to do it again?
Yeah, yeah,
All
that's
right.
fine. All right, that'll work. All right, Blake, what were you about to say?
no, that's okay. I'm
Oh,
fine.
okay. All right, good enough. All right.
There's two Dwaynes. If I'm out now as Dwayne Hicks, we got Dwayne
Oh,
underneath me and Dwayne Hicks. So I'll just go by Blake
or go by Hicks.
or Hicks. Yeah, Hicks is good.
Yeah, go by Hicks. We like Hicks. Hicks is great. I didn't really think about that. Of course, when I wrote this whole thing, I never expected someone to be named Dwayne, but that's okay. All right, so cutting through it a little bit, you guys set course for.
Well, you know how I like my alliterative names.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You could have been a comic book writer. Um, uh, though I don't know that would be as lucrative a career, but neither here nor there. The going into the whole rigmarole of going into cryo and waking up, Dr. Mitchell is still doing pretty well from his treatment. It's been a couple of weeks, but he hasn't had the trouble that you guys remember him having. As you all come out of cryo in the Sol system, um, Verhoeven's having a rough time. He's slow to get moving. He's coughing a lot. Um, yeah, there's some talk from Dr. Khan about how the FTL in the cryo is causing quite a bit of strain on him, and that's something that they're going to need to address at some point. But beyond that, the approach to Sol is pretty straightforward. Sol is, the Sol system is obviously multinational, so everybody kind of, the UPP presence leaves the UA to police their own ships and vice versa. So you guys approach Sol. Where do you guys want to put in for landing?
So I don't. I don't know. Are there international rules for checking in if you're coming from outside the system? Or is this?
Well, you're a UA ship, so you guys certainly could land anywhere that's UA without any real concern. You would just have to reach out to traffic control and get in the queue and this, that, and the other thing.
Right.
Um,
Well, I would like to go to Oregon to look at the last location.
yeah,
where-
Portland does have a large spaceport, so you can certainly land there and then perhaps drive out to where you want to go.
That's my vote.
All right. So if there's no dissenting opinions,
This is
go
and
ahead.
this is sort of Verhoeven's deal. So he should have some say. Of course, he's still moving slow.
Yeah, I would believe that Verhoeven just wants to land at the spaceport that's closest to where you guys need to go, and then probably have you guys take out the tractor. The tractor only takes 6 people, so you'll have to determine that. Shall I roll Tansy's piloting roll?
Sure, why not? Let's see how she does. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, not a problem.
She's an ace.
She is a pro. She's almost as good as Max Decker was. Poor Decker.
Well, if she's going to be on our crew, she has to run fast. That's the most important skill. Yeah, you're a good pilot. Yeah. But look what that did for Max.
Yeah. How are your legs? Are you fit? Do you have good? Do you do cardio every day?
We'd like to hire you, but we need to know your 40-yard dash times.
That's exactly right. Exactly right. And how long can you maintain a heart rate over 150 before you have a heart attack? That's very important.
Get on the treadmill, please.
And how quick can you crab crawl?
Yeah. All right, so she brings you in.
There's a lot of air duct movement in your future, I think.
I haven't had nearly as much air duct movement in this as I probably could have. I need to work on that. Um,
Come out to the coast. We'll have a few laughs.
yeah, that's right. It is a Christmas movie. Um, yeah, so she brings you guys into the Portland spaceport. It takes obviously a number of hours to get cleared for the queue, and then it takes a while to land. It's a shift to break atmosphere and all that. But in the end, you guys set down, no problem. Verhoeven pays the landing fee, so there you guys have nothing to worry about there. So when it's all said and done, Verhoeven looks at all of you and says, "Well, uh, it's according to the coordinates that Blake has, it's about 2 hours by 2 hours driving. So I suppose you should take the tractor out, Blake. Who do you want on the team?"
Sorry, I was having trouble clicking. I do have two mercenaries with me, right?
You have four on board the ship.
4 on board. Okay.
Yeah.
The tractor holds 8,
Six.
6. Um, oh boy. I mean, I'm gonna at least 2 of my guys, and then whomever else, Verhoeven and Rudy, I think would be appropriate. I guess. I mean, I don't want to hijack the whole mission. Unless it's given to me to manage.
Well, I just kind of assume it's your mission. It's to do with as you please. But
Right. And so, Rudy, did you want to accompany us to?
if you think that's best, I don't know what we're in for. So
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what we're in for either, and we can probably use your encyclopedic knowledge.
no, I'm not. I mean, just between us as players, I don't know that she's has that as a thing. Like,
Well, I mean, you don't you have been reviewing all the records that were seized, right?
well, she has that because hard drive brain.
Uh-huh.
Yes, but
Yeah, which, by the way, real quick, let's talk about that really quickly before you guys assemble your team here. Um, the conclusions that you've come to in regards to the engineer language, you're probably picking up a very rudimentary understanding of it. Just from having a large amount of time to puzzle through it. Nothing substantial. I mean, you might be able to say, "Donde is La Zapateria" or something along those lines, but that's you wouldn't be able to engage in full conversation. As far as flying the ship is concerned, flying the ship, their technology seems to be substantially integrated with music. And in a lot of the memories you saw, anytime David had to interact with the ship to get it to do anything, but especially navigation, setting a course, that type of thing, it involved the use of what you can only define as a flute, but it's the likes of which that there's no match for, in general records. It's nothing Earth made, obviously. So that's going to be integral to interacting with their technology on some level.
so the ship requires a special flute to fly.
Correct. Yep.
Okay, well, I'll make sure at some point to tell the crew this, so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. Keep an eye out for a flute.
And the best I can do with the language is I can order tacos. That's about it.
It'll be one of those things that will take time, and if you want to invest experience points in learning the language, I'll figure that out. Um, so Verhoeven looks at Blake or I'm sorry, Hicks now, and says, "We'll definitely take a couple of security, but you should probably make sure you have a range of skills, since you really have no idea where you're going or what you're going into."
We could probably use the other 2 PCs because Dwayne has the heavy machinery. Jake has the Comtech. You know what I mean?
So
I've got the empathy skills, so together, the four of us together are
one whole.
one super being.
It's like Captain Planet.
We've combined to form Voltron.
That's right. Yeah.
So we're saying Jake staying on this ship.
Um. No,
Well, is
I,
there a chance you might need a comtech role? Because Jake should come in that case. Like if you need to open a
Yeah, we don't need to. So
security panel or
we
something.
have six seats then, and it's not like a pickup truck where we can throw more bodies on. I guess it would be myself, one other, or two others, and then Rudy, Dwayne. That makes five.
We'll
Yeah.
need a seat for Newt on the way
And
back.
then, well, yeah, that makes five. Now, I'm guessing that the six passenger thing is, since we're on Earth. I mean, is that like a super hard and fast? Like this thing's, like one of those. I forget what they call them. The runabouts, the four wheelers. Are they? Is this small like that, or I mean, can you put more than six if you just sit on each other's laps?
We'll yeah, I think we'll just stick to the hard and fast 6-person rule.
Okay, all right. So we do need to make room for if we do find somebody there to bring them back, right?
Yeah.
So it'll have to be five. It'll be myself, one Merc, and then Dwayne, Rudy, and Jake. That's five.
Okay.
We
And
leave the pilot with the ship
Yeah, leave the pilot, and of course you got Andy's character too.
and Andy's character.
So that
Alright,
would
so-
leave him, and then of course the NPCs Verhoeven, Rose, Khan, and several of the security guys on board ship.
Right, on board ship. So I've
Alright.
got. Go ahead.
oh, I just have a question about this tractor. Can people see in through the plexiglass windows or whatever?
Yeah, it has windows.
All right. So let's stow all our weapons that we might bring with us, at least out of sight. I think it would look weird if we land on a UA in Portland, and then they see an armed force that's not Marines driving around. Wouldn't it look weird?
Well, I guess that's up to the gym. What is the
I
Sorry,
would
you're-
say that generally would seem a little odd.
Yeah. So we want our weapons, but let's keep them out of sight till we get wherever we're going.
And that's a good point. In all the movies, I'm sure there's probably a book or two out there, but in all the movies, we never really saw Earth except through the space station or somebody referring to it as a shithole.
Yeah.
So I don't know if is it Star Trek modern society, or is it Blade Runner deteriorating society?
It's something in between the two, because it's somewhere in the early 20 or mid 22nd century, so somewhere maybe 30-40 years before where this takes place. Wayland Yutani actually set up Atmo processors on Earth to clean up the atmosphere and that type of thing. The terraformers to get Earth back to the way it's supposed to be. So the large cities, your Londons, your Tokyos, your LAs, Chicago, those types of places are very Blade Runner-esque. But then there's a lot of, because there are several novels I've read where there's still a lot of rural areas, especially in the UA. I mean, let's be blunt. The United States has a lot of empty space in it. So it's kind of a mix of both. It's Star Trek idyllic and Blade Runner dystopian at the same time. But definitely, the major corporations have their own security forces. So if you walk into a Wayland Yutani or a Seegson building in a major city, they're going to have their own personally armed security forces. And the police forces of major cities with bad crime are probably are more equipped like military. But just guys walking around with machine guns and armor, just out on the street is not a normal thing as a general rule.
But I would assume, I mean, like a six-wheel tractor, like we have, I guess it's six-wheeled or eight-wheeled.
It's a six, I
Or
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, that's
that's a
not going to
pretty
be.
normal thing.
It's a normal thing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a Daihotai tractor. It's not like an armored vehicle or anything.
Well, let's hope our plates are up to snuff. But yeah, so I think just the five of us.
Oh, it is an eight wheel. It's an 8x8. 8-wheel drive.
Eight-wheel drive.
Wheel
Excellent.
drive. All right, so let me take a quick look then. If we look at, let me look at my sheet. Actually, let's look at ship stores real fast. So what I'd like to do then is, we don't know what we're going to run into, and we don't know who they are, but I think it's unlikely we're going to run into a xenomorph on Earth. So maybe we have a few AR-40s stashed, or let the mercs carry their rifles stashed, and maybe the rest of us, we could probably hide a handgun on our persons, out of sight. What do we got for pistols or sidearms? Let's see.
Well, Rudy's got her own 357, and then you guys
Correct.
have a bunch of those 50 caliber hand cannons in stores.
Yeah, and those are really good. These are armor piercing.
All right. Well, oh yeah, there it is. It's called a hand cannon times
Yeah.
times
And
six.
no penalty at engaged range, which is good too. So I mean, if you're up close, it's not like a rifle.
All right. So if it's okay with you guys, let's let the mercs bring long range weapons that they keep hidden away in case we need to break them out. And then I'm gonna grab one of those hand cannons and hide it on my person. So I got to go to my sheet here. I'd be a little surprised if we have to use one of these on Earth, other than maybe they who found Newt are Wayland Yutani, and I'd just like to off as many of those guys as I can find.
What was that, Bob?
That seems super hardcore for Dwayne to say.
Hey,
I remember in the beginning he was very concerned about.
I've had it with these Wayland Yutani guys.
He's gone over on the other side now.
His character arc is a straight line into darkness.
Just where Wayu is concerned.
It has escalated very quickly.
So I put the hand cannon in here. What on my sheet? What's the range?
It's a medium range weapon.
All right, that's what I have. And any bonus?
0 bonus, 2 damage.
2 damage. All right, I put it in the system. Great.
All right, and then you can decide how many.
Put it on my
reloads you
sheet.
want. All right. And as far as reloads are concerned in the ship stores, as far as Stratzel weapon and ammunition is concerned, as far as the ship stores are concerned, you guys have a virtually unlimited supply of that stuff. Because it was all loaded up in your cargo bay, so there's tons of it. I mean, it's like that scene in Terminator 2 when they open up the storage container. It's just rows of guns. I mean, that's what it is. Now, from the standpoint of what you can't carry limitless reloads, of course. But so you have to make that decision how many you're going to carry with you. So yeah, you guys figure out what you want to carry on this tractor in terms of any additional equipment. You mentioned weaponry. I don't know if you want to do armor or med kits or any of that stuff, or but you just someone make the decision now as to what you're bringing along. Is Blake bringing along an AR-40, or I'm sorry, Hicks?
Yeah, he's got a AR-40, his pump shotgun, the cutting torch.
So he's bringing his standard stuff.
Standard stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Standard stuff.
So he's wearing his armor as well, or at least he's bringing it with him.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's the question I have for you guys then. I wasn't going to wear armor necessarily because it would look goofy, out of place, but
Unless it's election day in Florida.
all right, well,
Sorry.
I'm not gonna,
just makes it look bulky, so
this is Earth, so I'm not going to bring it. I got the hand cannon. You guys have the big muscle. All right. It would be good to have a met kit. If we're taking weapons, there's still a chance somebody might get shot.
know
I
why
can
you're
take a
assuming
med kit. Well, I mean, we can leave it in the truck too, but
you could.
Yeah,
yeah,
you
it's
can
the
leave
best
it
one
in
in
the
the truck.
yeah, you can leave it in the tractor because but the next question would be who has uh who has the skill to use it?
I do.
Okay, good. All
I'm
right,
Blade 1,
look at
so
you.
don't ask me to do anything but pull splinters.
No, but you have a high empathy, so your dice pool's pretty big.
Yeah, she's barely trained, but she performs like a neurosurgeon.
Yeah, exactly. Just innate ability.
All right.
All right. So the tractor rolls away from the spaceport. You guys are let out onto the streets of the fine city of Portland, which I have no idea what Portland looks like in the 22nd century. It's just kind of
I know what it looks like now. Let's move on.
there you go. The coordinates you're heading for, these Daihotai tractors are pretty quick, once you get away from city streets. And the coordinates you're heading for, that Hicks has, put you about, put you about 100 miles out of the city,
Which direction?
east.
Okay.
And a Daihotai tractor, just so you know, has a top speed of 148 kilometers an hour. So,
Holy mackerel.
yeah, that's pretty fast.
Like 90 something miles an hour. Hot dog.
Though I don't know that you'd be going that quick. I mean, you guys are carrying a bunch of assault rifles and stuff, so you may not want to exceed the speed limit, but so much. I'm sure Oregon State Police would have an issue.
So we're heading out into rolling hills and farmland, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And the as you get closer, you're reaching those those beautiful rural photographs that you've seen of Earth. Like you said, rolling hills and farmland, houses that are miles apart from each other. Uh, Eventually, you come to a point where the highway dwindles. You go from 6 lanes to 4 lanes, and eventually you're following this blinking dot on basically a 2-lane road. There's very little in the way of traffic out here, as you would probably expect. You see the occasional VTOL gyro car, or maybe even the occasional tractor, but there's not. And then maybe once in a while an actual antique automobile. Amazing. Of course, they've all been converted to electric now, but uh, you eventually reach a point that you definitely need to turn onto a dirt track. There's no road name or anything along those lines stored in the GPS or on the road itself, and you're still a number of miles away. This As you move up this dirt road, you eventually catch a glimpse of a house in the distance, up on a hill. It's it's a rather it's a rather idyllic looking American style rancher. As you approach it,
How far away are we?
I would say you catch your first glimpse of it on the top of a hill, probably about a mile off. It's just it's a very small structure a mile away.
Is it like on a hilltop, or
Yes.
it's on a hilltop? All right. Is there a forest between us and it?
No, no trees, just rolling hills.
Yeah. So if we see them, they'll probably see us. Huh?
Probably, yeah.
Are
Anyone who's
these
looking.
are these are this is farmland? Are these fields that have been plowed and cultivated?
Not on this road, no.
Okay.
Um, uh,
So we don't see any farm equipment or anything like that.
no, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Uh, you
Is
guys,
there a
go ahead.
is there any kind of what we call defilade between us and the house a mile away? Is there a rolling hill that
Yeah,
rolls
absolutely.
through the tractor
Sure.
that's fairly close, so we can go by foot? Or I'm just trying to look at it. I mean, I don't know. Is there a skill I can use for this, maybe,
Um,
to assess the situation,
we
like
can just call
observation?
it. We can just call it observation. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me try to roll that just to see if there's stuff that might. I don't have a very good observation at one,
Well,
but
you have a bad eye.
that's right. One good eye.
Eh,
Oh, look at you.
Not a problem.
The good eye
Um,
worked well.
Oh, okay.
there are definitely places where you could pull if you wanted to pull the vehicle, because after all, the tractor's 8x8. It's an off-road vehicle. It's made for
Right.
climbing up all sorts of alien landscapes.
Mhm.
So you could definitely go off-road with it and park in a spot which isn't in plain view of the house, if that's what you're looking to do, and then hoof it the rest of the way.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, obscure it and head up there so we're not like all in the vehicle if it gets lit up, which I don't think it will. But
Yeah, no, that's definitely doable.
all right, so that's what I suggest to Rudy and or Veerhoven. No, Veerhoven is not with us, but to
No, he's
Rudy
not. He's back on the ship. Yep.
and I also suggest that myself and the other Marine slash Merc um, maybe recon forward a little bit. I don't know that we have any glasses or goggles or binoculars though, so
I
I've
think
if
got a
there's
set
anything.
of
somebody's got a
binos.
set of binocs. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Really?
Jake.
Yeah, I've got a set of binos that we can share.
Yeah, that plus maybe a motion, although we're probably too far away for a motion detector
Yeah,
to
you'd
see
have to be
anything.
a lot closer.
Yeah. Well, let's do the recon first and just say that we pull up behind some defilade and use the binos to take a look at the house and
Okay.
then maybe probe forward just the two of us to see what's up between us and the house.
Okay. So you and Jake, because he's the binos, or you and the other security guy.
Me and another security guy and with Jake loaning me the binos.
All right. That's fine. So all right. So now from the standpoint of pulling the tractor off the road. Um, you're just looking to basically protect the tractor from view of the house. Are you trying to put the tractor in a place where it's not viewed by the road as well, or just the house is your
I mean,
concern?
if it's possible, it'd be great. If we could, if there's a kind of a small, I don't want to call it a valley, but a ditch or something
Yeah.
that we can drive into and just not,
I'll let you
advertise
make a second
ourselves.
observation roll to see if you can find something like that. Oh shit! Look at you. Okay, no problem.
One good eye again.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, it must be your military training.
Right.
Um, all right, so that's not a problem. So the other three PCs are just staying at the tractor for a time, yeah, and you and the other SSI guy are going to head towards the house, so you can recon it with binos, as you put it. Let's let's go ahead and have you do a make another observation roll. This time you get 2 bonus dice using the binocs. That's just a straight roll, though. I mean, I can take that roll. It's no problem.
How many more dice would he get?
He would have gotten 2 from the binocs.
Well, he could roll 2d6 and just add
Yeah,
any
that's
successes.
fine. Yeah, just roll 2d6, Jim. No additional
Nothing.
successes, so that's
Okay.
fine. But that's fine. You're able to spot out the house, and you're as you're looking around. The house is like I said, it's a conventional kind of ranch style house. It's made to look like something from the late 20th century, um, but it's clearly made of conventional materials. It's about 14 meters wide, give or take. There is, and eventually I'll get you guys to a map, but there is just a wooden porch with a standard front door on the left side of the house. The right side of the house, the far right, has a garage. And it's a little hard to tell from this angle, but it looks like the house might extend a little ways beyond, behind what you can see. With your success on observation, I will tell you that you spot um, there is a dish on top of the house, which is a very popular um, style used by people accessing the network via a pirate signal. Also, the front left of the house where the front door is looks like it's been raked by weapons fire.
Okay. Any other damage besides the front door?
Not that you can see now.
Yeah. Is the front door open?
No, it is closed.
Any? I mean, you would probably mention it, but no vehicles visible.
No.
Nothing. All right. Um, let me try to do it. Can I do another observation roll just to look at all the windows and make sure nobody's spying back at us? Or
Yeah, I'll let you do that. Sure.
I don't want to try to. Let's see if I click the no. I don't know why it's not giving me.
When you go to roll observation, it's not bringing up the box to add in
Yeah,
the
no,
modifier.
it's not. But yeah, that's weird. Well, I'll do it anyway and see what happens. Yeah, it just does that. So yeah, I don't roll.
You can roll the 2d6 off the dice roller
Okay.
for the.
Oh wait, I gotta do it the other way so
Yeah.
you can see what the rolls are.
Well, actually, if I.
It might have been a 1 and a.
No,
It might have been a
it's
1
a
and a
3 and a
6.
4.
I've had
3 to 4.
occasions.
Oh, you see that?
Yeah, hover over it.
I've had occasions where,
Uh,
just so you know, I've had occasions where that box to pop up for the modifier kept popping up behind the character sheet
Oh.
yeah, I've had that too. And
every once in a while.
But you would have to click OK for it to do the actual roll. This one just goes right to the roll. It's weird.
That's strange.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter in this situation. So we don't see anything there, huh? All right, so I go back. My guy. I leave my guy there to keep an eye on things, and I go back to the vehicle to let them know what I've seen.
Okay.
All right, well,
And
what's the plan?
there's probably how much just like open area between us and the house?
Probably say 3/4 of a mile.
Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, and that's just open driving all the way up there, huh?
Yeah.
All right. Well, there is no other better way to do it except to get into the vehicle and then drive up to the front door. You can't mitigate the risks any
well,
other way, I suppose.
There's no cover, so even if we drove the tractor up there but left a couple guys to hump it, there's no
They have
cover
to go
for those
through.
guys, right?
It's an open field, and their weapons won't
All right.
provide cover if we leave them here as an overwatch. So I think we just need to drive up there.
It's almost like they built the house on purpose this way.
Right. Good fields of fire, but okay.
Might not have helped them since there's
Captain
weapons
Rudy,
tracked all over the house.
it's your call.
I'm afraid this time it's your call, Blake,
Right. Well,
because you're the military guy. So you tell us what you think we should do.
Hey, there's already been evidence of weapons fire on a house that's supposed to be in the middle of nowhere. Something's happened. Let's get our butts up there. That's my opinion.
let's go. I don't want to speak for anybody else's lives, but let's go.
All right.
So I guess we'll roll out, pick up my extra guy, and then get in the tractor and move forward.
All right. Perfect.
As we approach, do we see, as we're rolling up the road, do we see any other outbuildings start to pop up? Or is it just the house in the garage?
It's just the house with the garage attached to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to do something just dawned on me, and I want to do this really quickly if I can. If Photoshop will open up quickly enough.
I thought you were looking to use a Doom point, but that's a different game.
Yeah. Though, if you guys are okay with it, I can make that work. I think there's enough Doom in Alien to go around. I don't need to borrow Doom from other games. Just my thought process on that. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Let's do a quick export. And we'll call this Tractor. And very good. Where did my... There we go. All right, so let me drag you guys over here. Now, you guys really shouldn't see anything, unless I'm mistaken.
It's all dark here.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's dark.
Same.
I don't want you seeing anything. I want to see how good you really are. You can't even see what you're trying to see. Ha! All right. Let's put... Yeah, it wouldn't be that big.
It's like being inside Joe Biden's brain.
Oh, ouch. All right. I'm just going to drag you guys over to the map so that you can start to see. So who do I need here? I need Rudy. So let's pull Rudy. Let's pull Jake. We got Dwayne Dunning. And then where is Blake? Or should we call him Hicks now? There he is. And then I've got an SSI guy. We'll put him on the map just so that we have him there. All right, now I just got to add vision to you guys. Give me 1 second. Anybody see anything?
Nope.
Really?
No, I don't
Not
see.
me. No.
What's going on here? This has got to be a user error.
There. I got a map with some of the fog of war removed.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I see a grid with a big black section.
All right, I'm getting there.
Yeah, I'm getting there too. I see the front door, I think.
Yeah, and I see our little icons down there in the corner.
Oh, I don't need to give the SSI guy vision. All right, so you guys should all see this right here is the front door. There's a wooden porch with a couple steps that lead up to it. Over here is the large garage door. It's very, very large. Pardon me, hold on. Sorry, I didn't want to blow a cough in your ear. It's a very large door, large enough to hold a tractor.
Okay.
And then
I didn't
there's a
see the
couple of
ping for the garage door. Which one's the garage door?
over here.
Okay.
To the right.
And there's a handful of windows on the front of the house. The front door has, as Hicks noted earlier, has weapons fire, impact points from weapons fire, and really the front of the house has a bit of that where it looks like automatic weapons fire is raked across the front of the house. One of the front windows is broken, that type of thing.
I will take out my pistol and keep it at the ready.
Okay. All right.
I'll pull out my AR and just look at the military guys for guidance.
Yeah, so Blake makes Blake Hicks Blake Hicks makes
Let's just
the
go with Hicks.
appropriate yeah, Hicks makes the appropriate hand and arm gestures to his accompanying soldier and motions to you guys to stay back, and we approach the door that has the gunfire on it.
All right, you can go ahead and move your icon, and I'll move him. You should be able to move your icon.
And I guess this is where we break out the miniature game, Another Glorious Day in the Corps,
That's right. That's right.
which I have and I've only played once, which I need to.
I have never played it. Bob, with you moving to that corner, that side of the house, you can actually see there's a side door right here as well. Rudy and Dwayne, what are you two up to?
I'm gonna back up, Bob.
Okay.
Now we're letting the pros mostly handle this, but since Bob stepped up to the corner of the house, I'll support him with my hand cannon.
Okay. Perfect. The front door, there's a number of rounds that have gone through the front door. It's designed to look like an old wooden door, but it's in fact plastic steel, and it has a conventional doorknob with an electronic locking mechanism, which is active. But there are holes from rounds that have gone clean through it, as well as several spots at the front of the house.
Now, from the corner, we're looking at, we see the side of the house, and you had pointed out a door. Do we see any damage to the side of the house?
No.
Okay.
Am I able to discern what kind of rifle fire this was? Was it small arms? Was it?
That that's a really good question. Make make a survival roll. One success. Wow, you only have
He's
three dice in
wearing.
survival.
Yeah, I got a 0 in survival.
Oh
Yeah.
shit. Okay. Well, I should have asked for something better, but that's okay. It is no, it's rifle. It's
Mhm.
definitely impacts from rifle. Uh, your guess would be 10 millimeter. But it's not armor piercing, so it wouldn't have come from like an M41 pulse rifle, but it's some other 10 millimeter round. Definitely an automatic rifle of some kind.
Okay. Nothing else is damaged around the door. Was it used just to open the door, or does it look like it was a firefight?
No, it looks like a firefight.
Okay. Um, all right. Well, me and my guy are going to make entry tactically as best as we can.
Okay. Um, did
Do we have
you
comms, by the way? I don't know if that's just
you and
included
he
in.
have comms as part of your armor?
Yeah, we don't.
Got it. Okay. You guys don't. Okay.
Did you want to just did you want to you know breach the door, or did you want to try and get through the locking mechanism?
Oh, I had understood that it was shot through. That it
No,
was
it has rounds that have gone through it, but the door itself is actually closed and locked.
really
Yeah,
okay.
So is that a Comtech to open the door?
it would be because it's a keypad.
Well,
Unless you would just want to
Well,
break
hold on a
through it.
second because it. I I mean, if the door is still locked, and there's another entry on the other side of the house, right? That
Yeah,
Jake's.
well, obviously you've got the garage door, the overhead door, and then there's a door on this side of the house as well.
Yeah, I just see fog of war except for the front door. Um, all right, no, we're gonna let's try the Comtech. See if we can motion up somebody with better Comtech than zero, and and see if we can open the door quietly.
well, I think that might be Jake, right?
Yeah.
Because mine's not great, but not terrible, but not great. I don't think. Let me see. Yeah,
Jake's your
no,
guy.
my Comtech's terrible. I only get three dice, so Jake's the guy.
And suddenly the SSSD becomes a lockpick.
Yeah, that's right. One success. Yeah, so that guy steps out
Right.
of the way so that Jake can come do his thing, and he runs a bypass on it, and the keypad clicks and beeps, and then you actually hear several locks on the inside of the door get thrown back. Um, yeah, there you go.
Okay. Can I take a quick look at my motion tracker on
Please do
my
make a power
rifle?
roll for it.
Power roll. That is also at 0. That's
Oh, it
weird.
should be your motion tracker. Oh, that's right, because we have multiple devices that have power.
Yeah.
So your motion tracker starts at a 4.
I'll just say 4. Okay, so
That's weird. It didn't.
that does that okay? Hold on. Let me go. Try one more time.
There
There we go.
All right.
Oh, ouch!
So I lose one.
Yep, lose one, so it reduces to a 3.
3. Got it.
This is the motion tracker that's attached to the AR-40, so it's the shorter
Correct.
range. It should be able to um, see well into the house essentially, and it's not picking anything up.
Okay, me and my guy make entry.
All right, all right. So I'll let you two move in. You are standing in a living room, essentially. It is. It's about 5 meters by 5 meters square. There's basic but comfortable looking furniture. There's a network terminal as well as a network television mounted on this wall. There is a door directly across here, and then there's just an open doorway to the right. Some of the furniture and the far wall has been impacted by weapons fire, probably rounds that came through the house. And there is actually a dried up puddle of blood kind of towards the center of the room.
Ah, shit. Okay, so we've got. I'm trying to see in the map here. There's a doorway to the north, and there's a doorway to. Is it two doorways to the north? And
No,
one
it's just
to,
one. It's actually a door. I don't know why it's not showing as a door on the map, but there's an actual door, just a conventional door. And then this is an open doorway on your right.
the open doorways on the right.
Yep.
All right. We're going to move to the right and clear the open doorway.
All right. I'm going to. I'm just going to drag you in there momentarily, just so that you can get some vision. You should be able to see that room now.
Negative. It's still dark.
Is it still dark now?
I mean, I see about a square. Oh, I see I see a room with a 4 in it. Okay.
All right. There we go. So you're in. And then you guys, as far as Rudy, Jake, and Dwayne are concerned, if you guys are doing any sort of moving around, just move your icon where you want them to go, and I'll, if you come across something or see something or anything you need to know, I'll let you know when you get there.
Okay.
There's no, this is basically just a wide hallway, Hicks. And to some extent a bit of a mudroom. Like there's a shoe rack right here. There's a coat rack. There's the hallway that goes up to the north, and there's a doorway on the left and at the end of that hallway. There's also or a door, not a doorway, an actual door. There's also a door right here, and then there's another door over here. The one that the door to your right, just based on the dimensions of the house, you're sure that goes into the what you assume to be the garage.
Okay. Let me check the door to the garage and see if it's unlocked.
It is unlocked.
All right. Power up the motion tracker again, just to get a peek at anything moving.
It hasn't
Do
been
that.
that long since your last power supply roll, so I won't force you make another one.
Okay.
There is no motion.
Nothing. Okay. I'll crack open the garage door to take a peek in.
It's
Square.
yeah, it's I'll just pop you in there so it illuminates the room. It's a it's a good size room. A there's a 4-person VTOL gyro car. It's big enough for a tractor, but they just have the VTOL gyro car in it. And then looks like you'd expect out of a kind of a garage workshop area. There's several workbenches, a variety of tools for anything from carpentry to machinery work.
Okay.
But nothing looks out of place. It's all pretty still.
No damage anywhere. Nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going north to check the door. That's right here.
Okay.
Everybody else probably can't see me. It's weird. The fog of war isn't. It's not persistent, I guess is the word. So once you leave a room, it goes away again.
It shouldn't
Okay,
be
maybe
doing
that's
that.
a-
I'm not sure why it's doing that, and I apologize.
That's okay. That's
Um,
okay. It's just to orient everybody else where I'm going, because they probably can't see me.
Okay. Real quick check in. Dwayne, what are you doing out there?
Well, went up to that side door to look and see if I could look in.
Okay, that door right there.
Yeah, this door that we had seen.
Yeah, so
Which
that's
door?
right here.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a pretty conventional door. It has another locking mechanism like the front door. No damage. It does have a paned glass window set into it, or glass, or something similar at least. And it is inside is what looks like a dining room.
Okay. So if I peek in, okay.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right.
there's a large wood or wood-looking table and several chairs, a china cabinet with hutch, that type of thing.
Okay. So this back here was a window. Was
Uh,
this a window? I don't know what that
where right here? Oh,
right
that
there.
no, that's just the map being goofy. That's just a
Oh,
solid
okay.
wall.
It was a thick line. I thought it
Yeah,
was a window or something.
no, it's
So
just
this
a
is the
solid
door
wall.
over here. All right. So all I see is a dining room, but I don't see any other marks on the side of the building.
No,
How far back does the house go?
from where you are, another 5 or 6 meters.
Okay.
Um,
So 5 or 6 meters is 18, 19 feet, and we already came. So all right. So this is not a not a tiny house.
no, not at all. Okay, Rudy has a phone call. Jake, what are you doing?
Jake just basically went into the house and is backing up the military guys.
Okay, all right, good enough. Um, all right, so Blake, you went to that door right there, or I'm only be calling you Blake forever now. Hicks went to that door right there. It is
That's
a
correct.
um, it is a conventional door with a doorknob. And you said you checked the door.
Yeah.
It is not locked.
All right. So, well, my guy and I will stack up outside it and swing it open quietly.
All right, all right. Swinging it open. I'll just move you in there so that you can see it. It is. Uh, it's a 10 by 12 foot room. It's a bedroom. There is a single-sized bed up against the wall to the right. There's a dresser and probably a small a desk with a chair. A couple of posters up around the room. Uh, and just based on the general paint scheme and decorative scheme of the room, you would hazard to guess that it's a young female's room. But the place has been tossed. Like the bed is flipped over. All the drawers are half pulled out. There's clothing and various stuff everywhere. Like the stuff on top of the desk has been swept onto the floor. The drawers are open. Looks like
Okay.
the
So
place has been
ransacked, right?
searched. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And all right. And exits from here besides the one behind me?
There are none.
They're none. So it's okay. Anything that I see that identifies that it's obviously Newt.
Make an observation roll. Holy
Wow.
shit!
One good eye really works.
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
I played the lottery last night and didn't win, but I'm waiting for the Powerball tonight.
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
is.
yeah. Tonight's the big one, right? 1.2 billion. It
And I will pledge that I will give each one of you $1 million in this group
hey,
if I win the
I-
whole thing.
you know what? I'll shoot that right back at you. And
I would like to become a full-time Aliens player.
that's right.
That'll do it.
Hey, I told Andy I hit 1.2 billion tonight. I said, don't worry about your Winnie the Pooh thing. It's funded. You're good. You just
Oh,
get that
God.
game going. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, as you roam around the room with your one good eye, you see amidst all the junk that's been kind of thrown off to the side, yeah, a small plaque with a picture of a young lady that you recognize, and it says second grade citizenship award.
Well, she brought it back with her. Yeah. Okay, this is Newt. My anxiety goes up a bit, but along with my anger and sharpens my focus to make sure I find her and
You know what?
get
Because you
the
said that,
bastards.
I think you deserve a point of stress.
Okay, that's okay. It gives me another die to roll.
That's true. It does give you another die to roll.
All right, so
You
go
have
ahead,
you have
Woodward.
stunts, right?
Oh, you do have
I do.
stunts. Yeah.
Yeah, so new and unexpected information.
Oh, that's a Comtech thing.
Oh, that's
Observation
fantastic.
stunts are questions, I believe.
Yeah.
Where is here it is? I got it. Observation.
Gotta figure out where to put my cheat sheets. Oh, there they are.
Yeah, there's nothing really in observation. It's mostly about is it coming from me or are there more of them close by and how do I get in past away?
Yeah, I might homebrew something for that because that only that only seems to be effective in situations where you're running from or evading as or trying to find something. You know,
Right,
I might
right.
I might homebrew a change on that at some point in the future. But okay, all right.
So yeah, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to walk out and we're going to go back. So we cleared this area. Now we're going to go back out to where Rudy and everybody is,
Okay.
signaling that quietly let him know that this is Newt's house. I saw her room. I showed them the plaque, and I'm going to point for me and my guy to move along the hallway here. Is that right? Was
This
this
hallway
way?
up here. Was it this hallway up here?
Yeah, that
Okay.
one up there.
All right.
Yeah.
Whoop. What happened?
Oops, sorry. I don't know.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. There.
You got buried under the other guy. So,
Okay.
yeah, as you move into that hallway, there's a doorway on your or a door on your left, with another one up to the end there.
Does it look like the door on the left goes to the same room that had the
And
door
from room
closed?
one, very likely,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
would be
Okay.
your gut reaction.
Yeah, and both doors are closed. You got one on the left and one on the right.
Correct. Well, one on the
So let's
left and
go
then one straight ahead. Yep.
straight ahead. Okay. Go to the one on the left,
All right.
and we're gonna open it again,
Yep.
just like we did last time.
Yep. Yep. So I'll give you some vision in there so you can see. It's a dining room. You see a door on the far side that goes to the outside. But there's a large faux wooden table in the middle with four chairs. There is over here. There's like a china cabinet with hutch. You see Dwayne outside the window. But
Hmm.
the room itself is nothing really seems out of place. There's no damage. There's no really nothing here.
No damage, nothing. And the door that's
And then
is that a door or a window
that's a door
on the
going up or going north right there, and then that is a door to the outside with a window through which you can see Dwayne.
I see. And the door to the north is closed also.
Correct.
All right.
This door doesn't look like it latches. It just looks like it just kind of swings out back and forth.
Oh, I see. So maybe that's where the kitchen is.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I'm gonna motion to Hicks. I'm gonna motion to Hicks and point further back on the house and start moving
That way.
that way.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, let's we'll go through the swinging door.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll just move you. Well, that was weird. There we go. Rudy, are you there? You're still on a phone call.
No, I'm back.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. Back. I missed it. So yeah, as you kind of push open that door, and I see Hicks kind of pushing it forward with his with his assault rifle. There's definitely it's a kitchen. A variety of different your standard appliances that you would expect. Kind of a conventional old school kitchen. In that it's not just there's not just a food reconstitutor as much as there's an old school thing that they used to call a range, and something above it that you think used to vent smoke or steam out of the kitchen and that type of thing. There is a small round table off to one side. There's a number of pots and pans just out on the counter, um, with just old dried food in them that looks like was in the middle of being prepared and then just left. A bunch of the cabinets are open and appear to be rummaged through. Dwayne, as you come around the corner of the house and look around,
Yep.
you're seeing the back of the house,
Yep.
and there's a large glass sliding door right there.
Okay.
Also in the kitchen. Um,
A quick look. Do I see any other structures back here?
no, no, not for miles.
Just the back of the house, and then more rolling fields.
Correct.
Okay. And do they go downhill? Is this house literally on the
It's
top?
literally on the largest hill for quite a ways.
Almost like it was done on purpose. Okay.
Rudy, what are you up to in the living room?
I guess I'm just covering the six, looking out the door, making sure nobody pulls up while everybody's clearing the house.
That works. Okay.
So I taken cover near the door jamb, and I'm looking out for movement and listening.
Very good. That works for me.
Um, since I'm back here, if I look at the ground around the house, is it just grass? Do I see any disturbed areas? Is the house go all the way to grade, or is there some brick that obviously there's a crawl under the house? I'm anyway.
Make an observation roll.
That's what I was going to say, but knowing that it's not my strong suit, but let's get a look at what was going on here. Oh, God.
Would you like to push the roll?
You bet, yeah. Hold on, I got to expand my sheet a little bit so I can get to all the parts of it. Ugh. All right.
No.
Got nothing.
It's a house on a hill.
Okay.
All right.
That's discouraging.
So no exits from the kitchen except back the way I came.
Correct. And obviously the big glass sliding door that goes outside.
Right. Is there like a Weber out there or something?
What's that?
A grill.
Is there like a Weber grill out there?
Sure, why not? The modern equivalent, the alien equivalent.
All right, so I'm moving back here, and now that we got the southwest corner pretty much cleared and the west of the house cleared, we'll go. Let's see, where am I at?
You're in the dining room, right there.
That's the dining room.
Yeah, there's only one door you guys haven't looked into, and that's
Right, it's off.
that one right there.
Yeah, that's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Right there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, same procedure for that one.
All right. This door is actually it's not even latched. As you start to push against it, it just opens up. And I'm just gonna, since you guys have explored the whole house, I'm just gonna remove the dynamic lighting now, so everyone should pretty much see everything. So it's clearly a master bedroom. Um, there's a very large king size bed, a couple of dressers with a mirror. Um, there's a small there's a clothing rack held by a partition off to one side. Again, this room has the look of having been searched recently. The bed is off kilter on its frame, or the top part of the mattress, I should say. And the drawers are open and ransacked through. But beyond that, there's really you don't really see much else.
And that's the entire house as far as we know, correct? Um, and this is the master bedroom, right?
Yeah,
It's ransacked, you said?
it is.
Do we have any equipment or anybody on the team that could figure out if this house has hidden rooms, a basement we don't know about, trapdoors, anything like that? My observation sucks, so.
Well, it'd be really handy to have a colonial marshal because there's a talent for that. But
Is there?
yeah,
Okay.
there's a colonial marshal talent that lets you um, pretty much. I think it lets you automatically know about hidden.
Well, who has the best?
Really?
Who has the best observation?
I believe that would be Jake Sinclair.
So I guess if nobody's shooting at us, then I'll go through the house bit by bit and see if I can see anything interesting.
Okay.
So this is a single level home.
It
It's no
is.
staircase, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's okay. And
But it would have. It's still a rancher. It still has an attic, or with maybe there's a scuttle. We should look for a scuttle to see if
right, that's what I'm looking
right because
for.
there's an insulated roof area, and then if Jake would. Well, I'm outside, so I have to shut up. Sorry.
Well, you know what I think I'm going to do, since we got the main floor cleared and no basement or attic is discovered yet. I'd like to send my guy outside to the opposite direction of where Dwayne is, just to keep a lookout. And since Newt was the master of hiding, I'm not giving up on this place. So I would let Jake know. Boy, she can find places to hide that we wouldn't even think of. Use your keen eyes and your science mind, and maybe we can find her here if she's still here. We don't. We know they found her. We don't know that they got her.
All right. So, Jake, if based on that information, let's just I guess let's just have you make a straight up observation roll. We'll say you're moving through the house looking for anything that you think is of interest, I guess is the best way to put it. Oh, did you already make it?
Yep,
Oh,
we're all done. One hit.
sorry, I missed that. Um, so, you're sure that the house, something that Dwayne mentioned, of course, he was outside, so there was nobody to hear it. But you're sure the house probably has a crawl space underneath it, if nothing else, just for ventilation ducts, water, pipes and electrical, that type of thing. Oh, and you had the SSI guy. I'm sorry, you had him just go out to keep an eye on things, Blake, or
That's correct. Yes.
okay. All right, that's fine. I was just moving him into the right spot. Um, and as you go through the house, I mean, obviously there's the signs of violence in the living room. There's really not much of interest until you're moving around in the bedroom. And as you're
Which one? 6,
seven,
7.
the master
The master.
bedroom.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. In today's terminology, you're supposed to say main or primary.
Correct. That's to be proper. Um, the and as you're moving around, Jake, you get the sense that it's just as you step past part of the bed, you get the sense that maybe it's a creak in the floor or something along those lines, that part of the floor is stands out from the rest. It's like it's a false floor, maybe.
I will flag it to Blake. and then just kind of go into the doorway with the weapon ready. Wait for Blake and his guys to do their thing.
All right. So Blake, it is as he points it out to you, and you guys start to look at it. There you can just barely make out, and it's hidden underneath the bed. So without someone with really sharp eyes or making a point of looking for it, they definitely would have missed it. There is definitely a rectangular area underneath the king size bed where it looks like the floor lifts out and away, perhaps like there's something underneath it.
I shove the bed out of the way and put my rifle down, get on my hands and knees, and try to get that door open if it's a door.
Okay. Um, it's not going to be heavy
I can,
machinery. Let's have you make a stamina roll, maybe? I don't know. It's something strength related or close combat, maybe. Whatever's better. I'm not sure what it would be. We'll call it close combat.
okay.
That's fine. Successful. Um, so maybe using your Skinner knife, you start to kind of get into the seam, and you're able. And of course, that knife is made of some sort of extremely strong alloy, and you're
Right.
Indestructible.
yeah, and you begin to pry the floor up, um, and looking down underneath it, there's a very short shaft. I mean, that goes straight down. When I say very short, I'm talking 3 or 4 feet, and there's an electronic door or hatch set into some plate plastisteel just a few feet down, and
Oh, wow.
it has a
Okay.
keypad.
Holy crap. Okay. And the hatch is at, you said 2 or 3 feet, so you could reach it with your hand, right?
Yeah, oh yeah,
Is it man?
you could stretch down in there, or you could just drop down like on hunch down on your hands and knees. Well, you moved the
Oh,
bed
so
out of
it's
the
like
way, so you could just kind of drop down there if you wanted to.
yeah, it's like 3 or 4 feet across,
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
And just drop down there. Yeah, I do that with my weapon, and I bang on the hatch, and not super loudly, but I'm like, Newt, Newt, you in there? It's Hicks, Newt,
All
and
right.
I bang on it and see what happens.
That's interesting. Make a manipulation roll with a +2.
So what I'm going to do is add 2 to my manipulation to force
It's
that
because
plus
it's
two
not bring.
since
That's
it's
fine. Yeah, just bring it back
yeah.
down when
So
you're
I'm
done.
just going to do that. Yeah.
A success.
Nice.
So you clang on that metal door, and there's nothing for a moment, and then your motion tracker starts to beep, and it's that beep beep beep
Right.
beep beep beep.
So I haul myself out of the door. I mean, out of the little it's not a tunnel, whatever, the shaft, and wait off to the side, not pointing my weapon at it, but almost.
So the motion tracker, the blip, gets it's basically it's because it shows a two-dimensional display, so it's
Right.
showing it 0 meters.
Yeah. So it's
Um,
right below me.
and after a moment, there's a beeping sound from the keypad, and it was glowing red. It turns green, and the hatch splits in the middle and opens up, and below you is
Ah, there she is.
this young lady. She's older than you remember
Yeah.
her.
We all.
She's a teenager now, probably 15 years old or so. Her hair is her hair is kind of dirty and unwashed. She's disheveled. She looks well. She doesn't look too dissimilar from what you saw her when you first met her 5 years ago. Uh,
Right.
and when she sees you, breaks out into a smile, and she comes climbing up the rungs of there's rungs of a ladder that go down into this dark shaft, and she comes up, and she just gives you a big hug and says, "I knew you'd come."
Yeah, and I grab her and love her like a little girl,
Yeah,
holding on to her.
yeah. She says, I knew you'd come. I've been hiding down here for I don't know. I don't know. It's been weeks.
Oh God. Okay. All right, sweetheart. Let's get you someplace safe. And I'm gonna radio to my guy outside to come in, um, and let him know that I want to do site exploitation on the hatch to see if there's anything down there. And then I'm gonna take her up in my arms and bring her to the tractor outside.
Okay. Um, can I get observation rolls from everybody? Um, I need a -2 penalty for anyone inside the house.
Okay, so that would be, let's see, -2 would be -1 for me. I don't know if it'll allow me to do that. I'm gonna try.
Oh, so you have no dice.
Yeah, so wits is, yeah, so it worked. I had to put a -1 in observation, and that rolled one less die for my wits.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's the
good.
workaround for right now. But
All right,
yeah, so I got nothing.
all right. Jake has a success. Dwayne has a success. Rudy had none. Rudy, did you want to push or no? Rudy?
Sorry, damn it. I hate it when I talk when I'm muted. I was babbling away like an idiot. Well, we have 2 successes in the group, so I don't
That's
think I'll
fine.
push.
All right. Um, Jake, you hear an odd sound. For a moment, it just is a sense of a vibration. Um, and then as you kind of start to listen to it for a moment, you realize it's coming from outside the house. Dwayne, you're outside the house and you hear it in the air, and then you start to realize it's the chopping sound of VTOL gyro cars.
Ooh.
Um, Considering you've seen no traffic or other people for miles, that's probably drawing your attention quite a bit.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the house. Are there any windows on this side?
There's one in the bedroom wall. Yeah.
All right. I'm going to. I'm not fooling around. I'm just going to use my weapon and break the window.
All right, make a close combat roll.
It figures.
That should be easy for you.
I know. Still, I got to pull up my sheet. I had clicked it closed.
Oh, well, yeah.
That's all.
Jim, your timetable's what, another 30, 40 minutes?
Actually, a little bit less than that. So
less.
maybe about another 15.
Okay,
If
all right,
that's okay.
perfect. That's fine. All right, so what was that? Was that the hand cannon?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pull it out, and using the butt, you break the window just enough. It doesn't shatter the whole window, so you can't climb through it, but you break out a small section of it.
And
Glass shatters inside.
and I just shout through the window. We got company. VTOL cars coming. Let's go.
Oh no, they have a chopper.
So Jake, as soon as I yell it, you know exactly what we're up against. So go, 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 go. I'm gonna start hot footing it around the garage
All right.
towards our vehicle.
All right. So you do that. We'll count that as 2 movements.
Okay.
Blake, what do you want to do? Or
Well,
Nix?
oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm carrying Newt to the tractor and putting her in.
All right. Would you
in the
make a
seat.
stamina roll for me? Okay, perfect. So I'm going to let you move 2 zones, which if you're going the fastest way, you're going there.
Yeah.
Your guy was on his way inside, so that's where he is at the moment. Jake, you basically can move 2 zones. What do you want to do?
I'm just hightailing it off them.
All right, and Rudy,
We didn't leave anybody in the vehicle, did we?
you did not.
No.
All right. I'm probably closest to the vehicle, so I'll run for the driver's seat, I guess.
All right, that's perfect. So I'm not going to let you get in it, but I'll get you right to it. And then as you're running out to the vehicle, you can't. There's no mistaking the sound of the VTOL gyro cars, and there's 4 of them.
Oh, jeez.
I'm sorry, there's 2 of them. Excuse me. There's 2 of them. They are the 4-door version, and when they land, they're coming in quickly, and they land. And as they land, the doors open and guys start jumping out.
I just wanted to interject one thing. As I was leaving the house, is it clear that we're not going to make it to this thing before they land?
I would say when you get outside, you would probably see that they're about to land, and it's going to be very hard to get everybody out of the house and to the tractor before they.
Well, can I amend our reactions then and just
You can
stop
amend
and
yours,
go
sure.
back inside and
Yeah.
tell people take cover, fight from here?
Absolutely,
We'll
you can
never
do that.
make it.
That's fine.
Yeah. Find a window.
So what we've got is and you guys don't really see this, but one of them lands over here and disgorges 4 guys, and then one of them lands basically right up near your tractor and drops out 4 guys. And I think that's where, for Jim's time, we're going to stop. But I'm going to give you guys try to give you a good look here. There we go. They're wearing something that you guys should all recognize. Oops, sorry.
Isn't that the
They're
Xeno catching dudes?
What's that?
Isn't that the catcher guys?
Yeah,
The Xeno
yeah.
catching guys?
They're wearing Wayland Yutani ape suits.
Uh-huh.
And they are carrying. Well, unfortunately, the image shows them carrying M41 pulse rifles. They're not carrying M41s. They are carrying assault rifles, and you've seen them before. They're Wayland Yutani NGS assault rifles. And that's yeah. I think that's where we'll stop, since Jim.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll need a week to think out how to get out of this.
Well, I'm sure.
I think I'm dead.
Yeah. Well, we got a VTOL in there. That's our, I don't know if we can hotwire that thing and get the fuck out of here, but we can't seem to hold a vehicle for longer than one away mission. It's like teenagers driving cars. As soon as they get in the damn thing, you wreck it. All right, cool. Yeah, sorry I had to cut this short today.
No, it's all good, man. Life is what life is. I'm good for next week.
Okay, so am I. How are you guys
Same.
looking?
Yep,
I'm
good
good.
for me.
All right, cool. Thanks for playing, guys, and we'll do it again next week.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you,
beautiful.
everyone.
Thanks,
Good time.
guys.
That's
As
good. See you
usual.
guys.